All right, welcome to this video here where I'm going to go through a method of factoring trinomials. I call it the slip and slide. I'm not sure if that's the exact name for it, but it's what I was given as a name, and so I'm going to use it. And we're going to go through an example, 2x squared minus 9x minus 35, and I'm going to go through step by step how you would solve or how you'd factor this out. Now, we're going to use the form ax squared plus bx plus c when we're doing slip and slide. I use it for all of the trinomials that I factor. Really, it's just knowing what is our a, our b, and our c value in the trinomial, because we're going to use those numbers in order to solve and in order to come up with a solution. So in this case here, just want to let you know our a is 2, our b is -9, and our c is -35. So these are the three numbers that we're going to use. I'm going to preface this by saying that when I'm looking at a trinomial here, if I can take a greatest common factor out of these three terms first, I'm going to do it. Now, 2, 9, and 35 do not have any common factors other than 1, and so I'm not going to take anything out. I'm just going to leave it exactly the way it is. So that's just to be aware that you know that, because you may come up with examples that you can take a 2 or a 3 or a 10 out of the numbers and then make it much easier to solve. And that's kind of where you want to get to in the final end. So let's go through slip and slide. And I'm going to go through the steps. I've got 6 steps before we come up with our final answer. Step number 1. We want to multiply the a and the c value together and come up with a product that we're going to use going forward. So the a value is 2, the c value is -35, therefore our product is -70. 2 times -35 is -70. This is a number that we're going to be using going forward, okay? At least in the first couple steps of this process. Now, step 2 is we want to take that number, that -70, and find all the pairs of factors for -70, or AC. It's a product of A and C. Now, we could get a lot of factors. We could have only a few factors, depending on the number we're given. -70 has a few. Now, because it's negative, we know we're going to have one positive and one negative. So we're going to have like -1 and 70, -2 and 35, -5 and 14, -7 and 10. And then we're going to work kind of backwards. And now we have -10 and 7, -14 and 5, -35 and 2, and -70 and 1. These are all of our pairs of factors, unless maybe I missed one. Did I miss one? I hope not. No, I don't think I missed any here. These are all of our pairs of factors. Once we have these factors, now we can move on to our next step. As you go through and do this more and more, you may realize you don't need to find all the factors. You may have to find that one specific factor that's going to become important going forward. So step 3 is we need to find the pair of factors which add up to B. All right, let's go back to B. On top there, okay, looking at our equation or our trinomial, the B value is -9. Do any of those pairs add up to -9? Well, -1 and 70 is +69. Nope, that doesn't work. -2 and 35 is +33. Ooh, we are getting in positives here. We should maybe move to the other side. -35 and 2 is -33. Okay, now we're getting a little closer to a negative. -14 and 5, that one right there, actually does add up to -9. Okay, now we have the pair that we are going to use in the next step. So we've used our -70. Now we have a pair of factors of -70 in which you can go through and solve. Now, if you've been following along and if you've seen decomposition before, you're going to notice that so far it's exactly the same steps as decomposition, which may help you if you have learned that form as well. All right, step number 4, new page here. We're going to set up two binomials where the second value is one factor over the value of A. Now remember, A was 2. So we're going to set it up like this here. We have x minus 14 over 2. Okay, remember -14 was one of our factors. And x plus 5 over 2. 5 was the other factor. So we're going to set these two up as such. Now, this doesn't have any commonality to some of the processes that we've done before, but we have to understand this is where we're going to set it up. Those factors are going to be our numerators, and then the denominator is going to be our a value. At this point, simplify fractions. We always like to simplify fractions. So for the first one, 14 over 2, we can simplify, simplify fractions. I almost forgot that step. First one's going to be 7 over 1. Okay, so we have that one simplified. Keep it over 1 as we go just for the next step. It can be helpful. And then the second one, 5 over 2, we can't simplify any farther, so we'll just leave it at 5 over 2. Okay, this is where now we have to take the information that we have in order to come up with our two binomials. And step 6 is we need to move the denominator in front of the variable. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of set this up here. I'm going to get my two brackets. I'm going to move my x's down. There we go. I'm going to put the plus and minus down there because those don't change. And I'm going to take the 7 and put it there and the 5 and put it there. So whatever is our numerator goes at the end. Our denominator, so in the first one is a 1, is going to move in front of the x. Now if we have 1x, we don't really need it, so we can actually just eliminate it for 1. But the 2 on the other side, we're going to take that and we're going to move it in front of the x. And so our final answer of factoring 2x squared minus 9x minus 35 is going to be x minus 7 and 2x plus 5. Now, again, this is a method of solving and factoring a trinomial. It's one of many. If you like it, gladly use it. I personally find it a little bit simpler than some of the others, but you have to remember what the steps are and be able to solve those steps in order. It works if a is equal to 1 as well. Okay, it's pretty much logical reasoning at that point, but it does work in those cases as well. So if you like it, use it. If you don't, you can use something else. Remember, I got a couple of videos on logical reasoning and decomposition that you could watch as well and see if you like those ones instead. All the best as you work through your math.